Welcome here into the Sunday Sports Zone. The Jaguars moving into the final phase of their offseason program, which means mandatory minicamp. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week, that's it before training camp. The Jaguars are getting ready to close the book on that offseason, and then we're counting down to a little bit of a dead period before they get back out there on the field and football season starts to crank up. So, speaking of Travis Hunter, maybe this week, we'll get a chance to see Travis Hunter out there on defense. Look, I haven't seen it yet. I've seen him practice at wide receiver a whole bunch, but I haven't seen him on the defensive side of the ball yet. The Jaguars did share the one clip of him making that fantastic interception out there on the field as a cornerback. So maybe that's the promise of things to come. Look, one thing's for sure, one way or another, Travis Hunter's going to be exciting to watch. And while I haven't got the chance to see him on the defensive side of the ball, his coaches have. We got the chance to catch up with the defensive back coach for the Jaguars who says, look, he wishes he could have his hands on Travis Hunter a little bit more, but if he had to put him out there on the game field right now, he'd feel pretty good.
Obviously, this hasn't happened, so we're like a test case, you could say. But you know, eventually, I mean, I think it'll even out a little bit more. Right now, offense has had him a little bit more than we've had him, but the time we have had with him, he's been able to. If we had to go play a game, I think we could put him in the game, and I think we might like what we see.
Yeah. If they had to play him in a game, look, it'd probably go pretty well for Travis Hunter. That is one thing that's for sure. But we've seen him a whole lot hanging out with these offensive guys. I mean, don't they just look happy together? This looks like a pretty dynamic offense, if I say so myself. I mean, between Brian Thomas, Diami Brown, and Travis Hunter all hanging out with Trevor Lawrence, this looks like a happy group. We like the side of that, and we like the side of Travis Hunter possibly on both sides of the ball. Hopefully, we'll get to see him on defense and kind of get a feel for what he is there. But we also want to get a little bit more of a view of what he can do on the offensive side of the ball. One thing's for sure, one way or another, while we know he's going to make an impact out there on the football field, he's going to make an impact on the culture because the energy he brings, it's just flat out infectious.
Well, it's definitely the real Travis in regards to the moment he comes through the door. You can feel his energy. You can feel his love, his passion for the game. You know, it's when you got guys that truly love what they do. I mean, as a coach, you love that. I mean, they make it fun. I mean, you know, he's wanting to be the best version of himself, and yeah, you love that about him. And so to answer your question, without a doubt, that's who he is. That's how he's built.
That is who he is, that's how he's built, and that's who the Jaguars are as they try and build this roster in that image. Now, one of the guys who is helping to shape everything is Jaguars' new defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanile. Now, Coach Camp, as he's affectionately called, at least that's what I'm going to call him here, he's a guy. It's fun to watch him out there working with the players out there on the field, and he's the type of coach that these guys want to play for. Got a chance to hang out with Dewey Wingert, who's one of the more longer-tenured Jaguars at this point, and he says, look, Coach Camp is the kind of coach that he wants on this defense, and he's excited to see how the pieces of the puzzle all come together.
I'd love to be in a bar fight with him because I know he would absolutely just do whatever it takes to go kick someone or help his brother out. But he's intense. I love him. But aside from that intensity and that, you know, he's got that jersey kind of, you can just tell he's a dog. But he's smart. You know, he coached under Jeff Hafley last year in Green Bay. He's been with Vic Fangio, so he knows his stuff. And it's cool to see him kind of put the X's and O's, you know, on the tape, but then add that intensity, mixing that X's and O's with the just intense, violent culture of great defenses. So it's cool to see him meld that, and I'm excited to play for him.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit. We got to talk about Madden, right? So the trailer for this year's Madden came out. It's not often that a Jaguars player makes it into the trailer, but there's none other than Travis Hunter. The final player you see in this year's Madden trailer, Travis catching a touchdown pass, doing some backflips in the end zone. Look, it's exciting. There's no way around it. I think people can be excited to see that. And they also did confirm you're going to be able to play Travis Hunter on both offense and defense in this year's game. So something to definitely count down towards. All right, to the last story. And this one's got me mad.
Why you mad, Jamal?
Let me tell you why I'm mad. Take a look at this year's Madden cover. They didn't have to do the Jaguars like this. We saw the play in real time. They saw Saquon Barkley jump over Jerry Jones last year. They didn't have to do this. If you look back through all the Madden covers for year after year after year, it's just the feature player. It would just be Saquon Barkley. Now, they were nice enough that when they did the final cover, they took the Jaguars logo and emblems off. But when they recreated it with Saquon in a studio, they had the Jaguar logos on there. They didn't have to do all that. Look, they did Jerry Jones absolutely dirty. Madden doesn't update anything, but last year after this game, they put a backwards hurdle in the game. Come on. That's not what people were asking for. We've been asking for updates on franchise mode for years, not a backwards hurdle, but this is what you give us. But you know what, Madden? That's okay. Jaguars are still going to get the last laugh on this one. So technically, this is kind of the second time the Jaguars have made a Madden cover because the official time was back in 1996. So this is the Panthers and the Jaguars on the cover of the 96 Madden. That was from the Hall of Fame game the year before when both teams came into the league, right? Jaguars are being tackled in the picture. Again, not exactly a highlight kind of play, but you know what? It's a reverse curse. We go by the Madden curse. Well, this one was a reverse curse for the Jaguars because in 1996, the Jaguars went 9-7. They went all the way to the AFC Championship game, lost to the New England Patriots there, but they made it to the AFC Championship game. That was the beginning of the run. So maybe, just maybe, this can also be the start of something good for the Jaguars. The reverse curse, if you will, and maybe the Jaguars are back in the postseason and getting the last laugh on Madden for the second time. That's why I'm mad. They didn't have to do the Jaguars like that. All right, still ahead here in the Sunday Sports Zone. We're going to talk about the News for Jags podcast that you can track down anywhere that you get your podcast. We'll have some new episodes rolling out this week.